Hey guys, welcome to the Rootless Academy. Today's video is going to be about handling complaints from the guests. Very important part of our job, very unpleasant part of our job. But once you watch the video, once you go to the website, download those steps, learn it, you will have much more confidence in yourself to handle a complaint from a guest, take the right steps, and make this guest again a happy customer, impress your management, impress your coworkers, and feel good about yourself. So let's do it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video if you like it. Share it with your friends. Let's spread the knowledge and enjoy life. So what is a complaint? By definition, complaint is a verbal or written displeasure of something that is wrong or dissatisfactory. A guest expressing his or her displeasure between the gap of service quality received and service quality expected from the guest. To be able to handle a complaint in a professional manner, we have to be able to put ourselves in the position of the guest. What was the guest expecting? What did we promise the guest? Did our promise was misleading and therefore the guest expectations were too high? The formula of happy guests is when our promise equals our service equals the guest expectations. Then we have happy customer, happy guest who returns back and bring their business back to our restaurant. So let's see what are the causes of the complaints from the guests. In general, that's expectations not fulfilled. It could be the kitchen or waiter mistake. It could be technical problem. It could be behavior of employee, not especially yours, but maybe somebody else. Maybe the guest heard something or maybe they saw something inappropriate. There are unusual complaints. There are guests complaining about the weather. We cannot do nothing about it. There are cultural differences that we are not familiar with because we have international guests that they have some different habits, and for example, for them it's not allowed what we usually and normally do in our culture. So that could cause a complaint. Problems beyond our control. It could be everything. And of course, there are a lot of cases when the guests come with pre-existing problems. For example, we are working in a restaurant in some of the hotels, and the guest come and he's already mad because he was waiting online to check in. His room was not ready. The girl on the reception desk didn't pay enough attention to him or whatever, and he comes and start complaining. We should be able to handle all those complaints, and we should be able to differentiate between the different type of complaints. So let's dig deeper now. You have to understand that not all the guests that complain are those loud people that scream at you, yell at you, call your manager and things like that. There are different type of guests and they complain differently. So it's very important to understand, to recognize the different type of guests and be able to handle complaint differently for every type of guest. I know it sounds complicated, but actually it is not. Once you start working on the floor and once you start getting complaints, when you have this knowledge, when you read the post, when you listen to the video and watch the video, you will have this knowledge in yourself, and these things will click in right away when you have to handle complaint, and you'll be able to take the right steps and act appropriately. So it's not so complicated. Once you get some experience, you'll be fine. We have shy guests. Usually they're very quiet. Even if they have something to complain about, they're not very willing to complain. So you have to understand the mimics, the gestures. You go to a guest and you ask, is everything okay with your meal? Because you see that she ate a little bit or he ate a little bit and just left it and not eating no more. And when they say, yeah, it's okay, all right, that means it's not okay. That's not voicing exactly a complaint, but for us as a waiter, as a professional, as a people who want to make everything right and make our guests happy, that is a complaint. We have to handle this immediately. So you have the shy guest. Now you have the suspicious guests. They're usually grumblers. They moan all the time. They try to act funny, friendly kind of way, but actually they're voicing complaints. Well, yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not this. I'm not that. Yeah, that was fine. Yeah, that was fine. But that was fine is also a complaint. That was fine in a funny way. That means that something was not really fine with the meal or with the drink. That doesn't mean that you have to jump right away, take the plate away, and just comp it and or give him free stuff or something like that. It doesn't mean that, but it means that the guest is not 100% satisfied, and we can do something to make him a little bit more happy. So next time when he decides where to go and dine, he say, hey, you know what? This guy was so good last time. I'll go back to this restaurant because they really handle this situation properly. And that is all about this class. That is why we need to be able to handle complaints and different type of guests and different type of complaints properly, so we can bring those guests back to our restaurant. Now, you have the know-it-all type of guests. Yeah, you don't do this right. No, that's not done right. You have to do this like that. Well, this food was okay, but they put so much pepper, they put too much salt, they put this, and this. People that they think that they know better than anybody else, and they know everything, and they will tell you how to do your job and how to do this and how to do that. Now, when you have people like that, you recognize the situation right away. Maybe he's complaining about this and that, but there is a proper way to handle this kind of complaints. That doesn't mean, again, that you will start apologizing or things like that. You take care of this guest in a different manner from the guest that says, oh yeah, everything was fine, yes, it was okay. Why you didn't eat nothing from the food then? Well, I'm not so hungry. No, this is not good. This is totally different setup. We have to act differently for this guest and for this one. Yeah, this is not done this is not done right. It's a totally different acting. Now, you have the ruthless guest. You know the ruthless guest. I bet you know the ruthless guest. They scream at you, they call you names, they throw things. I don't need to explain for you. Everybody that works in our business seen or will see a ruthless guest. Very important to know how to handle those guests too, differently. Now, they are bluffer type of guests. People that bluff all the time. They don't want to complain directly, like the ruthless guest. Hey, you stupid! You don't do nothing right. Things like that. They are bluffers. They just bluff you into so they can get something extra, something for free. They make you uncomfortable, so you pay more attention to the table and things like that. So when you see a guest like that, you should know how to act again. And it's a different way to act with these guys. Friendly type of guests. They talk a lot. They want a lot of attention. They give you a lot of attention. They ask a lot of questions. So this is another thing. Hasty guests. The guest that never had time. Hey, where's my meal? Hey, what's going on, man? I'm waiting 2 minutes for my steak. Where's my steak? My friend, steak, it doesn't cook in 2 minutes, okay? Take your time, relax, chill, have a glass of wine, but not on me, huh? On yourself. So recognizing the type of guest is very important because you will have to act differently for every different type of guest. I gave you some data and facts so you know what is going on with the complaints. You have to know, guys, 90% of the guests that come in the restaurant, 90% of the guests, they base their decision on product reviews. And if the product reviews in the restaurant, in the booking or whatever site is good, they come. 88% of the people are influencing, putting their decision on, influence their decision by the comments under the restaurant review. If the comments are good, they come. If not, they go. 40% change their mind about buying a product or going to a restaurant when they read the review. 40%. Even if the guest decided to come in this restaurant, but he reads a bad review, 40% of those guests decide that they're not going to come. So it is very important that we don't ever leave the guest out of the restaurant unhappy and then he goes sit down on the computer and writes a bad review. This is what brings the business down. If the guest voices the complaint and we make everything to make him happy, that makes the guest even more loyal than its normal service, and he's very happy with everything without complaining. And he never gonna write down a bad review about the restaurant. And we're gonna get this business back. 80% feel themselves appeased as soon as they receive an answer of their feedback. If somebody writes a bad feedback, but he gets an answer and quick answer from the management or from whoever runs the marketing, social marketing for the restaurant, apologizing, inviting the guest back, giving him some discount or maybe a coupon to come and have a dessert or a free meal even, they really feel good about our premises again because they see that we care and we are taking care of them even if it's a little bit too late. 60% of the guests who read those reviews check if the restaurant answers those reviews. Do you understand what I mean? It's a different when you read the reviews and you see that they're all bad reviews or they are bad reviews and you decide not to go. But if you see that the restaurant responded to the review, they change your mind again. Okay? So you decide to go to this restaurant, but you sit down and you read the reviews and you see a bad review and you say, oh no, 40% of the guests will change their mind. They say, no, I'm not going to go there. But then you see the response for the restaurant and you see, a correct response and you change your mind again. 60% change their mind again. Okay, the restaurant responded. Okay, that was probably just a one-time thing or a mistake by somebody, but those guys really care about their guests. So 60% flip again and they come back to the restaurant and they decide to go to the restaurant just because of this response. So it's a psychological game here with the guests that we are playing. So learn those skills and take care of those complaints. This is one of the qualities, one of the skills that you will have to have in order to grow in the company, to be a supervisor, to be a manager. This is very, very important skill. Without this, you will never be able to grow to a management. Never, ever. So learn it. Thank you, guys. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you have any questions. Share this video with your friends, with your coworkers, and stay out of trouble. Make a lot of money and enjoy life. Thank you. I'll see you again. Ciao.